Hello, hello, everyone. I am doing another Tea with Trina live today. I went last week on just Facebook, but now we're broadcasting to a few more platforms. And I want to say welcome to Tea with Trina. I am excited to chat with you today and to chat with you about my tea. I'm having jasmine tea today, and I'm going to talk a little bit about this tea and the tea I'm having today. I'm not for sure what you're journeying into this morning as far as your drink. If you're having tea or coffee, water, I hope you're enjoying it. You can let me know what you're having and how is that what you're having impacting you today. But yes, I'm having jasmine tea, and I want to talk a little bit about having jasmine tea. It's really good. I was taking a look at my tea options this morning. I was wondering what did I want? What do I want to have? And jasmine popped up. So I'm very excited to have it. It was a choice between white tea or jasmine tea, and I went with jasmine tea. I'm going to enjoy this tea today. I wanted to start off by sharing a little bit of a story about how I came upon drinking jasmine tea. I was thinking about that. As I was fixing it. I was in my 20s when I used to frequent a tea shop in South Minneapolis, and they made jasmine tea. And I remember I hadn't had jasmine tea before, but as soon as I had it, I that was the only tea I got from this shop. Every time I went, morning, noon, evening time, when I would spend time at this tea shop, I would get jasmine tea, and just having it today definitely reminded me of that. But I want to talk with you today and hop on. Well, I'm hopping on. I'm here and share with you about grace today and giving yourself grace. I want to talk about this topic because I think it's an important one when you're journeying through. And I have so many things on my mind that I wanted to share with you as well. So bear with me if I'm like kind of meandering through some topics today and what I want to share with you and what I want to activate or share with you and then activate. But I have been journeying through as well with my mastermind group that I have with reading some texts and how we can create um, limitless possibilities if we believe, if we allow ourselves to, if we understand the ability of our brains and our inner power and our inner being in doing that. And I also was thinking about this topic of grace and giving yourself grace because I know that there are many times when things happen in life, or we may become disappointed, or we may be faced with a setback. Or things may seem tougher than what we thought they should have been, or we've been activating and being feeling impacted by a risk we took that may not have panned out in the way that we thought it would. And how important it is to understand the nature of giving yourself grace. And I wanted to just share a little bit about ways you can do that today, but just to remind you about the importance of giving yourself grace, of giving yourself that compassion that you deeply need and you deeply deserve when you face with something that may come up and that has impacted you in a way that you had not hoped it would. And so I'm going to talk about some tips that you can give yourself grace. And one is to really practice self-compassion, to really practice that, to know and acknowledge that there, there are mistakes that happen. Everyone makes mistakes, and there are failures that happen, and there is struggle. And the biggest point with this is that when there's struggle or where there's quote unquote failures, this is your best opportunity to learn. This is where your brain is stretched even further in this learning capacity. And it's also important to realize and remind yourself that you are also on a growth journey, as we all are. And so it's so important to give yourself some compassion. It's so important to see that we're on a growth journey. And it's very important to extend kindness to you, like the kind of kindness that you would and compassion you would share for other people as well, right? Number two, it's important to reframe negative thinking, reframe it. Yeah. And what I mean by this is that when a negative thought comes your way or comes to mind when you've been impacted by a setback or a risk or something that didn't pan out, or when you need to give yourself some grace and compassion, it's important to turn those thoughts that may have that may come up where you're speaking negatively about yourself or you're being super self-critical, but to replace them with positive thoughts or positive affirmations. Maybe instead of saying I'm a failure or this failed, to say I'm learning. I've learned. Maybe you could say that was tough, but this is a lesson, or I'm learning. Right? I'm learning from this experience. And so it's important to really reframe those thoughts and speak to yourself in kind and loving ways when you are faced with something difficult, right? Because we're all learning and we're journeying through this growth journey. Number three, I think it's important to take a look at what your expectations are. Sometimes we overthink things, and I'm going to say we because I do too. Overthink things or have high expectations, and I think it's good to have high expectations. I'm just going to be honest, but there's sometimes that we go a bit above and beyond, and I think it's important. Like, how can I say this? We go like, let me step back a little bit. Our thoughts about a certain thing, when I talk about high expectations, is like way beyond that moment, right? Or an ability to do or activate in that moment. And it's so important to celebrate the incremental steps that you've been able to take and the growth journey that you've been on, versus being overloaded and overwhelmed or anxiety ridden or anxious about something you had hoped for and that didn't work out. But to take a look at what was the progress, how did you move forward, or what did you learn along the journey? That is what you should be measuring that experience by, or you're learning by in the moment. And this is another way to give yourself grace. Number four is to really take the time to rest and recover. Can we say that again? Really take the time to rest and recover. This is another beautiful way of giving yourself grace. I'm the type of person I pack it all in. Honestly, I'll keep going, right? I'll go the extra mile, but I've learned the importance of prioritizing my rest and prioritizing my time to recover. So this definitely includes making sure that you are resting and recharging. Maybe it is a day that you spend at the end of the week where you rest and recharge and you do absolutely nothing. I began that practice. Right. I began that practice this year. Right. So for 2024, there was a day in my week where I did absolutely nothing. I prioritized that rest and recovery, and it was much needed. It's always needed, if you ask me. But this is the opportunity for you to take care of your body, your mental health, your emotional health, and really create space for you to just be in the moment. And it's so important to prioritize that rest and recovery. So that's one of the most important things about the steps to giving yourself grace, or the ways that you can give yourself grace. And number five, I talk about this all the time with my clients, which is to celebrate your wins, right? Pay attention to them and celebrate your wins. Acknowledge the effort that you put in. Acknowledge the achievements that you've made. Acknowledge even the steps that you've taken ahead, because doing that, like, I think, gives you a boost of energy, but it also helps you to recognize your self-worth, right? And to show yourself that you are worthy. It also gives you like a positive jolt along your journey. So it's important to celebrate your wins when you are in the process of giving yourself grace, right? So those are steps 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5. And I'll say them again. 1 is to practice self-compassion. 2 is to reframe negative thinking. 3 is to set your expectations, right? And not overwhelm yourself. 4 is to prioritize rest and recovery. And 5 is to celebrate your wins. It is so important to do that. And I'm going to give you a bonus too here when you're thinking about ways that you can give yourself grace, is to create affirmations that support self-compassion that support your next level journey, that supports you being able to get rest and recovery, that supports you celebrating your wins. Like create positive affirmations around that, and then repeat those positive affirmations to yourself on a regular basis. That will help you in moving towards giving yourself grace and remembering to do that on a regular basis. So I know I didn't have much of my tea. I've just been sharing this message with you. Mhm. Of give yourself grace. And I want to encourage you to practice this week. Practice this month. Practice this every month for the year ahead. And really begin to take the time to take care of yourself. I'm doing the same. I'm taking the time to take care of myself on an everyday basis. And good morning. I see there's a message from my cousin. Good morning. How are you? But make sure that you take these steps and take care of you in the moment. Thank you so much to for Victor for being here, and everybody who's tuning in and watching this replay. I want to invite you to let me know what you think about these ways to give yourself grace, and what is one thing that you will implement in your own practice starting this week. How will you give yourself grace? So share that with me in the comment section. I'll come back and be checking that and taking a look at it, and sharing my thoughts with you throughout the upcoming days as well. And I look forward to talking with you soon. I'm looking at my calendar too, because I do want to share this with you. I'm going to be doing a You Are Worthy Summit upcoming on December 12th through the 14th. And I'll share the link here. And I want to invite you to join me at the You Are Worthy Summit. I'll be popping that link here in the comment section. Click that link. Be sure to join me for that summit. It's going to be online and for the 3 days. And we're going to give you steps that you can take that'll help you step further into your growth journey and activating the success that you're looking to activate in life and business. So thank you so much for tuning in for another Tea with Trina. And I'll be on in the near future to share more with you. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.